Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to Viking.gg versus Natus Vincere, as I like to call it in the business. But, so it's one apiece now. Clean, even, straight down the middle. Either team can take this series now. Viking ended up dropping that second game as Na'Vi came out superior, just dismantling them. And yeah, just completely countering what their lineup sort of wanted to do. So Na'Vi lead up with the leader pick. And now it's this time Vikings going to be the ones with the Sven in their arsenal. So to see how they're going to be able to roll with this hero and what their sort of planned pairing is to be with it. And Na'Vi actually grabbed the Io as their second pickup, so they've already secured most likely their two supports. It's very, very rare that you see a Io pickup second without already having its pairing like decided. It's quite rare to see. So who knows what they are planning to try and pick up with this hero in the future. Viking go for the Undying, so that'll be their position 5 in the hands of Solari, most likely. And so this is probably going to be a position 5 IO, as you've already got the Lina. The Lina can be run as a 5. It's not very often you'll see it though. It just feels... The hero always has a little bit more effect in the game. She has a couple of items on her. Meanwhile, the IO, all you need is a mechanism, and you're already a nuisance. Obviously, everything else is just a little bit extra, but you know, there's very, very little that the IO actually needs to become really effective. So we'll see what sort of position 1 they are going to grab to pair up with the IO, as well as what they want to grab to go with the Lina in the off lane. Sometimes you see like the Mars pickup, so easy spear target, puts him into the tree, then the LSA can land, super easy peasy. But similar sort of way, other way around, if the LSA lands, then you've got easy spear setup. So might see Viking ban that hero out. Might be take away the Bloodseeker themselves though, just to make sure Toby can't run that. So maybe they're thinking about wanting to pick up a PA perhaps? As the Bloodseeker does pretty well against PA, heavily limiting her movement. If I can actually ban out the Axe once again, they did this in the previous game. I thought that was mainly due to just like the PA getting deleted by her own crits. But they're going to go with it this time to try... Well, I mean, they ban it out this time, maybe thinking that it's a decent counter to go up against a Sven. It's okay, but still the Sven just sort of destroys the Axe. And because the Sven is so tanky himself, he generally survives it. But even still, maybe they're just afraid of General's Axe. Maybe he plays it super well. I have seen him play it before in the past, and he has done quite well in it, to be fair. Maybe still paying the man respect. So maybe there is still a little bit of honor between these two teams at the moment. Not completely just dissing each other. So Na'Vi also take away the Viper. So I think they are sort of leaning up to a PA pickup, potentially. And then Viking even take away the Mars, just to make sure there's not going to be that other sort of setup for the Lina in the offlane. See what they're going to ban out for their last hero. Really think about what they want to limit, and here's actually going to be the Tide Hunter. The Tide Hunter does alright against PA. The Yank Smashers make it pretty difficult for her to farm up, so yeah, I still think they might be trying to lean towards a PA right now. See if maybe Viking might just ban it out, and then Na'Vi might swap out and go for something else. What sort of carries would Vici like to roll with in this scenario? Slark, I suppose. The Slark could be a potential hero that they want to go for. Avoids a lot of damage on the Sven. Can try and man up with him quite nicely. The Viking will take away the PA. I think Navi might choose to go with the Slug as well. It's also a very decent pairing with the IO, really benefiting from the bonus attack speed. So those essence shifts kick into hyperdrive. But Viking are actually to go back with the Beastmaster, despite the fact that Toby got completely manhandled in that previous game, just had no game at all, really. So they're hoping that he's going to have a little bit more of a dominant showing, not going to shut down so hard. We'll have to see how that ends up panning out for him. And how's the Slark do up against the Beastmaster? Not too bad. I mean, it will be purging off. You can purge off the slow from the boars, but obviously the boars are attacking so damn often, the slow effect just gets reapplied pretty quickly. They're actually going to grab the Void Spirit one more time. That'd be for General in the off lane. Once again, he did a pretty good job in that previous game where they can load to space non-stop across the map. And now Viking are going to take the Shadow Demon. So that's going to be Faramus most likely in position 4. So you have a Beastmaster Shadow Demon pairing. Yeah, I still think the Slug does quite nicely. It's the your Dark Pact purging away the Shadow Poison stacks as well. But there is still going to be that sort of destruction save whoever you do leap on, but I mean that's just true for any sort of carry. The Shadow Demon's always going to be there to try and disrupt your plays as much as he can. Oh, it's actually going to be the Troll Warlord pick. Okay, so we'll see how this ends up rolling for him. Going to be able to just pop that Battle Trance if the Sven ever gets on top of him and starts hitting him real damn hard. Could potentially just turn the entire situation around, but just pressing that R button and watch your hero go crazy. But I think Toby should have a pretty good time in this bot lane, just up against the Troll IO pairing. Especially seems like it's not going to be that really obnoxious double stun that he was trying to deal with in that previous game, just constantly getting locked down and couldn't really get much work done. So I think he might be happier. He should be happy this game. So it's looking like just mid laners left to pick for both teams right now. Na'Vi lead up by taking away the Invoker. Viking take away the Storm Spirit. I was about to say Shadow Shaman or something like that. No idea why. They take away the Storm. So what sort of other sort of things are Na'Vi really missing? Sort of lacking a bit of frontline. There's very little tank on the side of Na'Vi right now. It's mainly just the Troll. Everyone else is relatively squishy. The Void Spirit himself even just sort of relying on trying to get in and out. So I would say they could potentially go for the Kunkka like I thought they were going to do last game. But this time they've Viking have got the Shadow Demon, so if you try to go for any sort of X-Mark plays, you're generally not going to find anything in the teamfight scenarios. The Shadow Demon is always going to be there to disrupt the target so they don't get pulled back. Maybe there's some sort of tanky hero that they could potentially take to the mid. I know some teams run like the Unlord mid, but it doesn't really have that great of an effect. Tiny doesn't even too great. It's the Sven and the Beastmaster, pretty tanky, so they'll survive the Avalanche Toss combo and still be able to get all their spells off. Okay, so they're going to go for a Nature's Prophet then. So the old Natures, you know, jack of all trades, master of none. So they got a bit of damage. Going to assist out in doing that. Also be able to provide a little bit of extra push. Can build a bit tanky if he needs to, and he might need to in this game. Especially seems I imagine Boom's going to be getting the Ags to try and get on top of either the supports or him. So probably see a relatively early-ish BKB coming out from the Natures. Viking go for the Leshrac as their final pickup for their mid laner. So counting a little bit of push that Nature's Prophet brings with a large amount of push themselves. You know, I'm quite liking Vikings lineup this game. I think Toby, he's not going to get shut down as hard, so he's actually going to be able to help his team this time. And a sort of similar scenario for the Viking safe lane. Shad should be able to farm up a bit easier than he did in the previous game. As the Sven obviously can be a little bit more scary to deal with the Void Spirit than a PA is. But everyone's sort of going in the positions you'd expect. Not going to see any sort of weird, crazy move arounds. But it is... I think I am favouring Viking this game. I will go for them. I think they'll probably take this series. It just seems they've got a little bit more well-roundedness in their lineup. Both teams are sort of lacking teamfight though. The only real teamfight abilities are on the side of Viking, with the Roar and the Tombstone from Solari. Meanwhile, Na'Vi, when it comes to actual team fights, they don't have anything. I suppose Nature's Wrath, perhaps, coming out from Iceberg. Even still, it's not exactly like it's a team fight specific ability. Yeah, I'll go Viking. I think Viking will probably take this one. But you know, it's not like I have any sort of big professional opinions. I ain't no sort of big tournament TI winner. Just a lowly pub man. Sad times. But here we are, ladies and gentlemen, for the third and final game of this series of Viking.gg versus Na'Vi. Who's going to come out ahead? Who's actually going to take this game? Who knows? It could go either way. Like I said, I'm slightly favouring Viking, but it's not like 100% Viking, 100% sort of like their lineup's just going to crush. There is still the potential that Na'Vi could win this, especially if the lanes go well. So, you know, this series is... it's both teams there for the taking. But it's not like the end of the world. If you lose this game, it's not like you're out of the tournament. You're just going to be bumped down to the lower bracket. Who would they actually be facing in that scenario? I've got time to have a look. Seems everyone's just waiting about. So the loser's actually going to go down and face OG. And that is a little bit scary, to be honest. OG's been playing really well the last few games. Just 2-0 in everyone. Playing their, you know, just standard OG Dota. Just non-stop aggression, running at people, killing them all the time. So I think both teams are probably going to want to try and win this game to avoid that matchup. But then, even if you win this game, you'd be going up to play Virtus Pro instead. And it's not like that's much better. Virtus Pro themselves have been playing really damn well. Just crushing everyone. Even they've 2-0'd Secret earlier as well. Just real strong lineups at the moment. So, you know, win or lose, you're going to have a very tough second game. There's no avoiding that. Both people disconnecting and reconnecting. People lagging all over the place. I like how Boom said go, waited, and no one on the side of Na'Vi said anything. He's like, alright, I'm unpausing myself then. I'm done waiting. So everything's going to be pretty even. Actually, 3 heroes and Viking heading down towards the bot at the start. Maybe just to try and secure up the bottom bounty room, perhaps. Not going to really bother with the top one. But we do see Roger once again on the IO, but playing in the safe lane rather than the off lane. So going to be more of a position 5 sort of role this game rather than the 4. Aramis trying to trade right clicks off with his trees, but this is too damn difficult. He has to just run away, run, and they will die eventually. But quite a few heroes inside of Viking all gathered round. General's walking in, but there's no like long range lockdown on the side of Viking to try and potentially go for some sort of first blood grab there. So Viking need to make a push forward for this bounty rune, otherwise they're going to end up going 3-1, which isn't really a nice start to have. General, ooh, he's actually scared away from that though. So Shad will take away that bounty, ends up being 2 for 2 across the board. Pretty even in that regard. So in this mid lane, who's going to have a slightly better time? I probably think Boom will. Just there's so much AoE on him that, you know, he'll probably just burn away quite a lot of the creeps for Iceberg. Once he gets a few levels into like the Diabolic Edict. Especially once he gets his 6, those treants are going to just evaporate. But obviously that's still a little ways away yet. You don't just get level 6 super early. Oh, we're down bottom. See, sort of Solari's HP bar dropping pretty quickly, but just taking a bit of harassment. Nothing too scary at the moment. So he's taking quite a lot of right clicks. If he got hit by another LS8 there with the Resonant Pulse, he probably would have died. That would have been an easy first blood for Na'Vi. But even still, already forcing out the salve. There's actually Hand of Midas already queued up for Shad, so he's going full farm mode this game. With Hand of Midas plus the Greater Cleave, his net worth should just shoot up very, very rapidly. We will probably see VTune probably going to have to build a Battle Fury to try and keep pace with this. Or if he's going to commit onto like a big fighting build, they're going to be heavily reliant on actually getting a few grabs to try and close the gap between those two position ones. But it is, without a doubt, going to slowly grow bigger and bigger. I thought Toby would be having a little bit of a better time, but his boars are just constantly dying from Roger and VTune. Every single time one of them spawns, they just tether up, overcharge, both run at it. And he would just, every time he gets close to the creep wave, he's just getting bullied out. Getting bullied, blocked up by Roger now. Taking so many right clicks. Luckily there's no nets coming through, but there's another slow with the axes. A couple of long range right clicks with VTune. And that's actually first blood going on to Toby. So never mind. Toby's getting screwed. Once again, it's off to a bad start for Viking. I mean, I'm not really sure what Aramis was off doing. He just wasn't providing any support. I think he was dragging... Oh, I think he was actually just dragging the creep wave around. So Na'Vi realizing that it was just a 1-on-2 scenario, able to abuse Toby once again. So maybe now Aramis wants to try and get a little bit aggressive now onto VTune. But Toby's not that interested. He's just hitting creeps. It's like, I know you'd want me to help, but there's nothing I could do. I need to get some CS. But look at this, VTune's just doing so much on his own. So harassing out Aramis. Toby can't even get close to him in fear of just getting blapped down. Not sure what the random tip in the mid lane is. That's Iceberg TPing back in. This is the benefit of a Nature's Prophet, of course. Like, as I was saying in the draft, he's a jack of all trades, master of none. So he's not like a specialist in anything. But the one good thing he brings to the table is it's so easy for him to just regen up. You just TP back to base, use your Town Portal Scroll, and then you just use your actual teleportation ability. Just come straight back to lane, full HP, full mana. You haven't got to waste any money buying bottles or any sort of that crap. You can just heavily invest all of your money towards actual items that improve your actual effectiveness in just the laning stage and the coming fights. Obviously, a luxury that a Leshrac doesn't have, needs that bottle. I mean, what's the CS? It's pretty even though, actually. Whoa, actually, Iceberg doing really big on denies. I imagine though quite a lot of those is probably his treants. So it's probably not as big as it sounds, especially in terms of actual XP. And yeah, in terms of actual XP, Boom is still ahead. Actually, there's still a couple more creeps there for Iceberg to get, so there's a slight difference. Not insurmountable though. But yeah, look at that. As soon as any of these creeps get low, they just immediately deny that. Oh, but down bottom, Celeriax ends up dropping. Always One Fly gets the kill, and then even gets the kill onto Tombstone as well. Loads of gold for this Lina. Going to be able to buy those brown boots. Another LSA actually ends up connected onto him, doing tons of damage onto Shad. Resonant Pulse and the Remnant Collection from General as well. Another kill at this bot lane. Takes down the Sven as well. This game is off to a flying start for Na'Vi now. So all lanes going pretty well. I mean, the only one that's going pretty decently for Viking is just their mid lane. Toby's still just lacking down pretty far on that CS chance. Every time he gets close to the creep wave, look at this. Viking just starts to end up running straight towards him. The overcharge from Roger as well. Even Roger's just focusing down the balls all on his own. Teba's back over to Vichun for safety.
Your anger is useless here.
And just, yeah, just such effective trades. So Vichun could just get so aggressive in this lane with this IO, just constantly healing him up and lending him constant assistance. Especially going up against the Shadow Demon, you've got always infinite magic stick charges to work with. Especially in the hands of an IO, it's really damn potent. Obviously with that healing amplification that the Teva applies. So look at that. Vichun just doesn't let anything slip by. Every single thing he just last hits or denies up. Making sure there's hardly anything for Toby to really work with. Bounties end up spawning. At least Aramis is able to secure the top one there by disrupting up the IO. Now was One Fly trying to beat Soleri up to the top bounty. Actually doesn't even care about the bounty, just wants to kill onto Soleri it seems. And we'll actually net him up with the Dragon Slaves. That's a solo kill there by the Lina. But at least Soleri got that bounty room before he ended up dropping. Aramis spots out the stack that Roger's made, and he wants to just farm up using the Shadow Poison right now. And unfortunately for Roger, there's nothing he can do to actually stop this. This will be a large chunk of free farm, but I missed that. But Toby just dies once again. Vichun just runs him down. Roger actually ends up getting the last hit. So it just feels like he's left all alone. Every single time that Aramis is just off to the side, sort of trying to do his own thing, Vichun and Roger just capitalize on that instantly and just take down General Toby again and again. And unless something changes, it feels like Toby's going to have just as rough of a game this time as he did in the previous one. I mean, Vichun's just having such a great time. Top of that net worth chart, 3,000 gold, 700 gold over the top of Shad down bot. Oh, just Shaddy just dies again! The rotation's coming around. Iceberg comes down to the bot, lends a helping hand, gets both of the kills. And then we'll just fall straight back to the mid. Boom did rotate up to the top lane, but he found absolutely nothing. And he just has to slowly walk back towards the mid, farm up what he missed out. Iceberg's actually just going to transmute this little gank into a tier 1 push and try to take this down super early. Meanwhile, Viking have done 0 damage. Well, I lied. They've done 9 damage to the tier 1 up top. And they're already going to lose their tier 1 down bottom. Oh, this is looking real bad for the side of Viking. This is looking real bad. Boom's trying to apply pressure onto this mid, but the glyph's already there to mitigate a lot of this damage. Now Aramis is even hanging around. They're going to want to try and go for the grab. There's the disruption. Going to set up for the split earth. A couple of TPs coming in. Roger, the Lina is going to be able to get in time to save Iceberg. No, it's not. Iceberg will still fall. The LSA just about connecting though onto Boom, and they get the kill onto the Tombstone as well. Boom will pay for this aggression with his life, and he ends up dropping. And Gerald, he's not done yet. With the Astral Step, jumps forward and commits another one. Gets the double kill, finishing off Soleri as well. So sure, you found the kill onto Iceberg, but it cost 2 of your lives. And you only done a minimal amount of damage onto the tier 1 as well. Just lovely rotations coming out from Na'Vi, just not giving any space for Viking to work with. And even General just getting this bottle refilled up by Iceberg TPing back to the lane. Just extra efficiency. Oh, but General, he actually just comes straight back in with the Astral Step with the Remnant holding Boom in place, and as well as the Overgrowth. Boom's taking quite a bit of damage. Oh, he's just able to get up to the high ground to safety. Oh yeah, General, maybe he should have carried on staying there and provided vision for Iceberg, because he just walked up into the high ground and the fog just made him disappear. But even still, it's a lot of pressure. He's forced Boom to use all of his bolt charges once again. But General's he's carrying rotating around, gets to jump forward onto Aramis with this arcade rune activated. Aramis gets pretty low. This is going to set up for a split earth connection there from Boom. And there's nothing else left for General to try and get himself out there, so he will fall, cost him his life. Doesn't find anything in return. So at least Viking, they have something. They got something. It's a little bit of space. It did require like 4 heroes to be in the vicinity to get it though. But even still, you know, you'll take it. You take whatever you can get at this point. Meanwhile, VTune, he's just off on the other part of the map. He does not care at all what's happening. He's just happily free farming away. Nearly 1,000 gold over the top of Shad. Oh, in the mid. Awkward pause. More lag. This is the shame of online tournaments. Is Dota fix. Please FPS. Man, Iceberg's not happy. Is it the FPS or is it your lag? Pick one of the two. I mean, the lag just makes sense because, you know, it's an online tournament. Obviously, some people are going to suffer. You can't have a server which is right next door to everybody. Someone's going to have one that's a little bit further away. And unfortunately, it seems like it's more towards Na'Vi this game. Got a little bit of a worse server location. Well, I should say it. Well, who paused? So it was Na'Vi that paused, but Viking are the ones that actually just DC'd. Well, Always Want to Fight did as well. So both of them, everyone just disconnected, reconnecting. Everyone's back. Have you can see the game go? Okay, Aramis says go. Oh no, never mind. Vision's gone again. Oh dearie me. Goddamn dotes. But, you know, now that there's a coronavirus vaccine out there, ladies and gentlemen, we could potentially see the return of LANs. Oh, what a blissful time it will be. And maybe we could actually get a TI next year. Oh, that'd be magical. That would be magical. We'll see if we actually get lucky enough for that, or if coronavirus 2.0 shows itself, just dickbags the vaccine, just start screwing people over anyway. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Alright, so VTune's back. How are they going to go? Or is VTune still lagging? Go. Exclamation mark. Viking are ready to roll. They're done waiting. Okay, now they're going. So there's actually a smoke up coming out from the side of Viking. They're going to try and wrap around the jungle of Na'Vi and come up from behind. Roger's actually going to sit in this location to potentially break the game. Actually, they're just going to farm up all of the creep stacks that were made. Boom's just going to soak all of these up with his Pulse Nova, doing so much damage. Tons of gold just flowing into his pockets. Lovely little move there by Viking, taking away all that farm that was being saved up for the Troll Warlord. I don't think Na'Vi was expecting that. They're going to come over and be like, what the hell's happened to all the stacks? They're all gone. Oh, but even General, he's finding the grab on Stober with the teleportation coming out. He will commit the Roar to try and make enough space for him to get out of there. And it looks like he will save him his life. Even still, the bounty ends up getting taken up on that top bit. VTune grabs both of them down bottom, so it ends up being a 3-for-1 trade. Favouring Na'Vi, but even still, that's a very nice move there by Viking. Taking away, I think it was like 2 quad stacks. That was just a shitload of creeps, really. I mean, as we see, immediately chucked Boom all the way up to second position on that net worth. Only 400 behind VTune. Shad even found a double damage as well. Gonna assist his farming speed. And with this Midas online, we'll start to see his net worth climbing astronomically pretty soon. So what's actually building up is this next item. Looks like he was sending out the Echo Saber, so he's going to have that, but he has to skip the Mask of Madness this game, as he did go for the Hand of Midas instead. Or has he even got the Echo Saber finish up? I don't think so, actually. Oh, General. He's trying to get the grab on Solaire, and there's a Relocate coming in as well from Roger and VTune. They're immediately just going to bail out as they see there's too many members from Viking gabbing around here. There's a fight they would not be able to take, especially so close to the tier 1 tower. And it's a very good choice to actually back out there. But even still, that's the space. All those TP rotations gave always want to fly with Iceberg all the room they needed to actually take down that tier 1 tower. Iceberg's nearly got his Orchid online. 5, 7. He's actually got enough gold to finish up now if he wants to buy it. No, actually, he needs 50 more gold. He's very close to finishing buying it. And maybe once he has the item on him, they'll probably start making a few aggressive moves. Meanwhile, there's 4 heroes of Viking all gathered up this top. They want to try and take down this tier 1 tower. It's just General up here at the moment. I don't think there's going to be anything that he can actually do to stop this from being taken away. We'll drag the creep wave away though, so it's going to force Boom to tank up the tier 1 tower. And even still, this is just time. This is just time that General is buying, slowing down this push coming out from Viking right now. But finally the tier 1 will fall. As Viking take away that small objective. So what is it that VTune's actually building as his next item? He's still working towards that S and Y. Very close to finishing actually. We'll have it after he clears up this stack. So this is the downside of the non-Battle Fury build coming out from a Troll Warlock. It takes so long to farm up these sort of stacks. It takes a real... It's just a chore really. That's all it feels like. But he will have his S and Y done up now, so there will be a small power spike for him. Maybe Na'Vi might try and use this and make some sort of move around the map, as they do also have the Orchid online for Iceberg as well. So this would be a good time to try and get a grab and then move into the Roche pit and then try and build their lead even further. We got Boom. He's got his Yules and he's working towards those bots. Still about 1,000 gold away though. Then once he has that online, he's just going to be that super speedy Lesh, just flying around the teamfights, doing as much AoE damage as he possibly can. There is some lockdown on the side of Na'Vi. If he gets hit by like a by an Ether Remnant from the Void and then hit by an LSA, he could be brought down pretty quickly. He's a very squishy based hero. But it's not going to be the easiest grab in the world. Even though generally though, he does have his own Yule Scepter, so it's going to be a pretty simple setup for that Remnant. Oh, Shad, he was trying to come around for the back. Maybe wanted to set up for a move there onto General, but backed out just in time. Oh, Riddico actually coming down bottom. They want to try to get the grab onto Aramis. Massive amount of heroes committed down there just for the poor little Shadow Demon. No hope in hell's chance of surviving here. And Aramis will fall. But Viking actually end up spotting out the relocate target, and Roger just comes back on his own. Make sure he doesn't bring anyone else to their death as with him. So it actually ends up just being supports traded across the map for that. Probably not the big advantageous move that Na'Vi was hoping for, but actually they're making a move up top again, trying to find the grab on Solaire, but Solaire was still able to get that bounty rune and probably get out of there. The Goon Blade and the Orchid brings him down. The Roar gets committed onto General, but there's so much just utility locking down Shad, really reduces his effectiveness. Another Storm Elemental comes out, they might be able to grab Walls on fly, a couple of hits, brings him down pretty quickly. And Iceberg even dropped there by the focus from Boom as well. So 2 kills from the side of Viking. They did use the buyback onto Solaire. Probably wasn't 100% necessary, so he didn't even actually get there in time to really assist that much. But even still, nice little victory there for them. And now Viking going to try and use this space to get the Roche kill. The Iceberg's up pretty soon, but even still, this Roche is dropping so quickly. And I don't think any sort of response is going to come out from Na'Vi in time, so they will get this Roche pick up. Looks like General was trying to wait and maybe want to go for the snatch there, but it takes too long. Iceberg actually ends up teleporting into the back, trying to do a little bit of damage on Aramis, but his right clicks and it's hurt like it don't hurt at all really at this point. Just tickling onto the Shadow Demon there. Still, again, nice moves there by Viking. They had the gold deficit, but they still just made the correct movements. Picked up a couple of kills, used the space to take the Roshan once again. And that's just like, yeah, more room for Shad to carry on getting his farm on the go. Only 1,000 gold now away from finishing up his BKB. And then it's going to be very, very difficult for Na'Vi to try and duke out this Sven and keep him locked down in place. Especially once he gets the Ags. And that's going to be a real scary time for Na'Vi. But Vichun, he's not actually really showed himself in these fights yet. It's just been the other 4 members of Na'Vi that's been making all the sort of moves happen. So maybe once he actually gets his next item online and gets involved, we could maybe see it all swap around. He's actually going for the Satanic as well. Very early Satanic pickup. It's definitely going to make him extremely tanky and difficult to deal with. Meanwhile, up top, Toby ends up getting caught out by General and always want to fly. With the Laguna Blade commits to face. He even uses his Roar. He wants to try and make enough space for Viking to get around. Oh no! The bounty take up there from General just gets stolen from Shad. Absolute disaster. And then always want to fly gets caught out by Boom as well. And General, he might be able to survive. He doesn't have any Astral Steps, not for another 5 seconds. Making enough space there with the Yules. Oh, they had the damage coming out there from the Shadow Demon. He just dies before the Astral Step comes out. God damn, that's gotta be sad. Oh no, you dig up a bounty rune and then you get stunned and then it gets stolen away from you. Oh. Oh. My heart weeps. My heart weeps. You're just gonna be sat there at your keyboard, just be like, can't believe that. Like, you get lucky, you find in that bounty room, you just get storm hammered to the face. Shad's like, nope. That's my bounty rune. Poor man. Poor man. So Vichi's still just working towards the Satanic. He will actually soon have the Reaver, and then he's going to become really tanky. So he's actually just going to bother going straight for that Satanic. Yeah, he's moving his curry over to the outpost, so yeah, it's just going to be the first item grab up. And then that could just be a reason for Na'Vi to try and get aggressive. But Boom looks like he's going to try and find the grab now onto General, but there is the Yules to dodge the Earth Split. And just Astral Steps back towards the tier 1 tower. But Boom manages to get the kill to the tier 1. Always want to fly, nearly got the deny there, and that was pretty close. Unfortunately, just a little bit mistimed. So still just both teams a little bit scared to try and make any sort of moves. There is still this Aegis in the hands of Boom at the moment. And it's online for another minute 20. It looks like they're just going to try and force down this tier 1 tower as well. Always want to fly us here, but this should just be a completely free tower kill for Viking. Oh, what's that? General was trying to go for the bounty runes. We actually managed to snatch that one away and get out there with his life with the Remnant, making a bit of space for him to fall back. And down bottom, the Redicate coming out as well as Iceberg. He gets the tree entrapment there onto Iceberg. Boom with the follow-up LSA and the Laguna Blade, just enough to bring down the first life. The Roar from Toby tried to make space. Unfortunately, it didn't really matter. Boom still ended up dying. LSA straight after the respawn. But now Shad's here. And Solari coming out to the side. The BKB actually ends up getting committed from Iceberg. But Shad's now just charging forward. Is going to start going straight onto Iceberg now. But he just gets stunned up by an LSA. Vichun's going to stand his ground with these right clicks. The BKB popped by Shad. Wants to try and carry on going forward. But Solari just ends to get chopped down by the Troll Warlord. And now General's just jumping in and out. He gets stunned in place. Immediately bursts down though. A little bit of an overextension there from the Void Spirit. So it ends up just being a 1-for-1 trade, actually slightly favouring Viking in that scenario. But I suppose it was a couple of BKB usages, the God Strength as well. So maybe it wasn't the biggest loss in the world. Definitely still slightly favouring Viking. I mean, I think Vichu's been doing a pretty good job at trying to match the pace that Shad's able to farm. I mean, Shad's got the Greater Cleave and the Hand of Midas to actually farm with. Meanwhile, Vichu, he just has right clicks. And obviously the attack speed bonus that Roger is sometimes able to provide him. But even still, he's always just been like 1,000 gold behind. Not really that much. Especially seems like he's not even really getting involved in the kills. Well, Shad's actually got the similar sort of like kill score. Maybe those 2 deaths has actually just been enough to hinder Shad's farming speed. That there is that very minimal gap between him and Shad. Him and Vichu, perhaps. These work? Is he got enough to finish the eggs? He's got the courier coming out. What's he finished up? Oh, it is actually enough for the eggs, isn't it? Is it? He got the point booster. He's got the ogre axe. Oh, he just needs the blade of Alacrity, whatever the hell it's called. Yeah. So soon the axe will be online for Shad. And then that will be a big power spike for Viking to try and make some sort of play happen. But the Satanic is online for Vichu though. And it looks like maybe Na'Vi want to try and make some sort of play happen. This Vichu instead of rotating, he's going to run straight into Shad actually. Doesn't get the throwing axes off in time to slow down the Sven to try and get on top of him. Actually, Shad's a couple of levels over the top. I mean, you would expect that though. Seems how Shad is solo farming with the Hand of Midas, able to ramp up his XP. Meanwhile, Vichu has to share all of his with Aramis. No, Aramis, Roger, sorry. So tier 1 ends up falling. Viking didn't want to try and make any sort of place to defend that tower, just lets it fall. Vichu's still just hanging around this area though, despite the fact there is still quite a few members of Viking in the vicinity. And they actually come for a smoke up, heading down through their triangle. The scan does connect, so they realise there's still a few members of Na'Vi here. Shad just hanging around in the river at the moment. Going to run up to the high ground now. Spots him out on the left with that ward. Going to immediately jump forward. Gets the double stun. Plus the Godstrape just deletes Always Want to Fly. Vichu's going to try and stand his ground with the Satanic Pop. Oh, but he didn't actually use this ult. He just got roared in place. Nowhere for him to go. Now Roger's going to be easy food. Gets run down. Triple kill for Shad. Lovely little movements there by Viking.GG. Perfect stun by Shad. Just deleting the first support. And then Vichu going for the Satanic play first. Ends up just getting stunned in place by the Roar and then brought down before it could actually wear off. Despite the fact that with the S&Y giving him the status resistance, just was not enough to keep him alive. Nearly though. It was pretty close to actually wearing off. And he was probably just there spamming his R button, just like, ah! Unfortunately for him, didn't quite make it. That's that boom though. You might have just found a solo grab onto Iceberg. Going to force out the BKB. Relocate as well, coming out from Roger, but he's all alone. Boom's just going to try and go for the solo kill onto the IO, and I think he's going to be able to find it. So poor Roger tried to come in and help Iceberg out, but Iceberg had already left. Just abandoned the IO. That's got to feel as bad, man. But I think him relocating in scared Boom enough to not push forwards for the kill onto Nature's Prophet. Maybe he thought that there was going to be a couple more members of Na'Vi coming in, not just a lone IO. So I suppose that itself did save Iceberg's life, just in a very sad way. Stoby's having a little bit of a better game this time. Sure, he's still not like super rich, but I mean he's got his necessary items. He's got the Soda Crest, 4 staff as well, just to help get him out of some sort of sticky situations. And going for that Blink Dagger once again. See if he's actually able to get it this game. Probably should be able to. He's farming fine. So Vichu just building up for the Basher as his next item. Thought maybe he might potentially want to go for like a BKB perhaps. would definitely reduce a lot of damage coming out from the side of Viking. Obviously, you can still just get roared up and stunned in place. But, yeah, it does stop a significant amount of other disables on the side of Viking, as well as the damage coming out from Boom. They've gone for a smoke up play, head onto the high ground. Looks like Aramis, he actually ends up getting caught out. Laguna Blade to the face, but the jump fall from General actually brings him down. I always want to fly there. He gets focused up by Shad. Deleted seconds. General here with a double damage rune, just trying to retreat now. All they got to do is juke out the rest of this God Strength usage, and they would actually take this. Oh, but doesn't matter. Shad just about gets in range to get the jump forward onto Roger, and now Vichune's in a little bit of a scary position. The buyback actually coming out from the IO. The Remnant actually just about connects on Shad, but it's still just too scary for Vichune to try and get involved. The Relocate coming in there from Roger. Maybe wants to try and get actually stuck in the fight, but Vichune's a little bit too scared to push up onto this high ground. They don't have any vision to play with. Now they will head up in here, but Viking's already bailed out. And Roshan is actually up. Spotted out by Roger's courier. And there's no God Strength actually on the side of Vikings. This could be the actual potential time for Na'Vi to move into this pit and claim this objective. And they are going to go straight on in here. But I think with this high ground ward, they did just see Na'Vi roll on in there. So they're going to realise this is happening. Especially with the scout there from the axes. Shad just pops his head in. Forces the BKB pop there by Iceberg, so that's already a small little advantage for this coming fight for them. Once again, another jump forward from Shad, gets the connection on Always One Fly, BKB back online, going to try and bring down poor little Lina, and she does end up falling. She keeps getting caught out in the really awkward positions. But now it's a 4-on-5 for Viking, despite the fact they don't have God Strength, but he's up online in 20 seconds. I don't think Na'Vi's going to be able to take this fight. I think they're just going to have to fall back. Vichune though, he's really just playing super aggressively. Despite the fact that they're a man down, they just don't want to give any space for a Viking to work with. Vichune's not, he's still not backing up, just goes straight back onto this pit. Wants to try and take this down as quickly as he can. The Roar comes out onto General, locking him down. Still does not much follow-up damage. Managed to get the Simile off in time, so he will escape with his life. So that is the Roar used for no great effect. But there is still the God Strength ready to pop now for Shad. He will now use it. Going to jump forward straight on twice, but there's no BKB for him to dodge it. Actually, there was, but he didn't use it. He ended up getting deleted too quickly. Now it's just Vichune left all alone. He will use his God Battle Trance this time, but there's another disruption trying to make enough space. Now Solari just gets focused down. He gets melted. The jump off from the side from the trap brings down General. Now it's just Vichune left all alone. He gets brought down. Couldn't survive, even with the Satanic had already been used. The IO dies as well. 4 deaths on the side of Na'Vi. And all they lost was the Undying again. But he just buys back. It doesn't even matter. Another victory for Viking. Actually, just immediate cheese usage there by Boom as well. A very odd cheese usage, in fact. I'm not quite sure. Maybe that was a misclick. Yeah, I don't know why you would use the cheese like that. There's no pressure coming out from the side of Na'Vi. Yeah, I think that was a misclick. Whoopsie daisy. But even still, I think they're going to be happy with that. 4 deaths on the side of Na'Vi. Only losing the Undying. And yeah, just a little bit of misplaced from Na'Vi, to be honest. Iceberg, yet again, well, I mean, the other time he did pop his BKB, but there wasn't any God Strength sort of follow-up coming out from Viking. But this time that there was a God Strength, he didn't use his BKB. And that really did end up costing him his life. So, it's just starting to spiral out of control now for Na'Vi. They're just losing more and more momentum. This Troll Warlord just feels so easy to kite in these fights, despite the fact that he's got like the status resistance bonus. Loads of status resistance bonus. You got 20% from the Sanjin Yasha and 50% from Satanic. 30% from Satanic, making 50% in total. That is quite potent, but even still, he just can't really do that much damage. It's too easy for the side of Viking to actually just juke him out. I think even at this point, the Battle Fury would have been useful to actually just do a little bit of cleave damage and hurt everyone else on the side of Viking. There's just too much. There's just too much slowing him down, especially the illusions that Aramis makes, and they're quite tanky if they're of the Troll Warlord as well, so that can distract him. Especially now there's a 6k difference between Vichune and Shad as well. Shad's got the AC, got his Ags, got his BKB, working towards the actual Silver Edge as his next item. So what's the big sort of passives that he wants to purge away? Is it just going to be the fervor on Vichu and really sort of reduces the amount of damage he's able to output, perhaps? There's not really any other passives that you really care about disabling. I think the only passive is literally Fiery Souls. No one else has another passive. Yeah. So it's pretty much exclusively just going to be used to whack Vichu. I suppose it's providing a little bit of tank though, doesn't it? It's a pretty decent item for that. What's the actual stats of Silver Edge? 40 damage, 45 attack speed, 12 strength, 10 intelligence. Yeah, gives you a little bit of everything really. Definitely an item which Sven doesn't mind grabbing that much. Especially how it's going to be able to let him wrap around the sides of the fights and get an even better engagement every time. But even still, he just keeps jumping straight for Iceberg and finding him all the time. You know, you jump forward once, force the BKB, you fall back, you wait for that BKB to run out, and then you just re-engage once again. It was just too much of an overcommittal from Na'Vi for this Roche. I think maybe they needed to go for like some sort of smoke play themselves, try and wrap around their high ground to come from behind onto Viking, or maybe come down through the mid lane up to the high ground perhaps. Maybe some sort of move like that, 'cause it was just a little bit too choppy from taking that just face-to-face engagement. So another long pause. Everyone's still lagging away, as you'd expect. "21 Bloodstone charges for Boom as well. Got a nice chunky amount of mana regen. It's pretty nice how the charges now also provides spell amp. That's pretty disgusting. 0.35% per charge. So 21 charges. That's 7.85% spell amp, as well as the 8% the item already gives you, so 15%. It's not incredibly huge, but for a hero like a Leshrac, that is quite a tasty bonus, for sure. So maybe Boom might try and finally get this tier 1 tower finished off at the spot lane. Just another glyph, just to delay it out. And that's actually just going to be enough for Boom to run all the way back. So once he... run away! It's a glyph tier 1 tower. How can he do it? Always on flies, that's just going to deny it up. Big plays, big plays. Bounties end up spawning. It's going to be most likely 3 for Viking. Always when Fire's at least going to be able to take their triangle one. But even still, just that net worth chart, the net worth gap between these two teams is just getting bigger and bigger. What's it on terms of XP? Nearly 20,000 XP as well in the favour of Viking. Viking is going to keep applying this pressure, going now for the mid lane. Starbot really helping ramp up the takedown speed, especially seems how it's a Kai with the Soda Crest on it as well. Just firing those balls at light speed. Ooh, weird, awkward TP there by Boom. I think he clicks on the wrong spot. And Iceberg's trying to apply a little bit of pressure on the tier 2 down bottom himself. Ooh, the relocate coming out there. General, he's found the grab onto Shad, but he immediately pops that BKB to get the hell out of there. Now Vichu, he needs to get a couple of lucky bashes. He's not going to be able to find them. And Shad, even with the Superman off to the creep wave, easily able to evade the gank coming out there from Na'Vi. The Raw actually commit onto General as well, locking down the Void Spirit in place. Quick little burst of damage, brings him down. So unfortunately, it's a gank gone very sour there for Na'Vi. Tried getting that high value kill with Shad, but the BKB just making him too damn elusive. How long's this Aegis actually got? Still another 2 minutes 20 before the Aegis wears off. plenty of time for Viking to actually work with and carry on applying pressure until it runs out. I think even if it does run out, they don't really need to stop. Their lead just carries on getting bigger and bigger as this game goes on. Another tier 2 tower ends up dropping at the top lane. Vici and Roger actually run straight into Boom right now. He's left all alone. So this could maybe be a good chance for Vici to net a free kill. There is a Bloodstone pop though by Boom. And a Satanic from Vici trying to stand his ground. But Shad jumps immediately onto the back lines, deletes Roger. Always on a fly as well. Gets whacked down in the back. And he drops. And now it's Vici having to run away. Boom was just baiting him in, making away as much time as he can. Goes for the TP in the tree line. And he will actually escape with his life. But even still, 2 extremely free kills onto both of the supports. I suppose the one light is the fact that the God Strength and another BKB was used by Shad. So now it's down to 5 seconds. Yeah, you know, small victories. Nullifier actually queued up for V-Tune as well. Gonna be pretty interesting item pickup. I mean, it will slow down the Sven, purge off the armor bonus that comes out from the War Cry, as well as if Toby's throwing the Solar Crest onto him. Very interesting pick. But even Boom, super close now to finish up his own Aghanims. Only 240 gold away. It's not like it's a super busted Aghanims upgrade in the hands of Leshrac. It's still very nice. It's just free spell usage, really. Free Lightning Bolt every 1.8 seconds or something like that. 1.5 seconds. And that's a bolt that does a nice little chunk of damage and slows. Oh no, we come down to the bot to try and maybe get a gank, but everyone else on the side of Viking had already vacated the area. Double damage as well on Shad. Got all of his spells and utilities ready and available to use. Aegis actually runs out for Boom. But even still, I think they don't care about that. They want to try and use this double damage on Shad for something. Or maybe you might just want to group up and push the mid tower, perhaps force out the glyph at least. They're actually going to go for a smoke up play. 4 heroes. Head through the triangle. It looks like they might actually run straight into Always Wanna Fly. The poor Lina going to drive once again. Tries to go for defensive Yules, but unfortunately, that broken talent in the hands of Sven, dispelling the Yules as soon as it lands. So goddamn annoying to deal with. But actually, Viking aren't even done yet. They're going to find the grab onto Roger, commit with the roar onto him as well as the demonic purge, and he will fall. So both supports down for the side of Na'Vi once again. Chaz is actually waiting by the creep wave. Maybe seeing if Vichun came over to farm it, but he doesn't end up falling for the bait. Even still, at least Iceberg managed to go behind Vikings' lines and actually get those top 2 bounties. Top 2 bounties. Definitely can't afford to keep just hemorrhaging money at this point. They need to find something and actually keep themselves in this game, because every single engagement, every single gank they go for just ends in misery. But, you know, Viking, they're not getting ahead of themselves. They're really staying just, like, calm and collected this game. Oh. Essential Ward popped there by Solaria. Immediately spots out the walls that were just placed there. But easy sets off the Goon Blade and the LSA. And Solaria actually ends up getting deleted pretty quickly. But the Demonic Purge on Always Wanna Fly, trying to hold him in place. And Boom's coming around from the side. Actually dodges the LSA. But the Roar comes down to General, locking him down. It looks like Aramis might actually end up falling, though. Gets completed by the Evil Scepter, holding him back for now. And he actually gets a 4-star out there, so he will survive. Only General and Solaria falling. Boom's not done yet. Charging forwards. The BKB for Iceberg just ran out, so we got slowed down. Loud Shad to getting close enough for that Superman to come flying in. deals us way too much damage. Still half the duration left of this God Strength, so they can better apply quite a bit of pressure onto this tier 3, especially with two catapults chucking a lot of damage out as well. Shad lays a couple of hits, forces the glyph out, and it'll be enough just to force Viking back for now, but as soon as that glyph runs out, we'll probably see him run straight back in there. Finish up the tier 3? Okay, no, never mind. I eat my words, they don't do it at all. They will just fall back, despite the fact that they're a hero ahead. There was a buyback available on General, of course, and maybe they were expecting there was a buyback for Iceberg as well. Obviously, you just don't have that sort of information, so they played it safe just in case. Roshan also up in a minute, not the longest spawn timer in the world, so potentially Viking are going to be looking to secure that as fast as they can, just leaving Solari's Courier constantly in that pit. Ooh, Timeless Relic as well. That's going to be a perfect pickup for Boom. More damage amplification? Yes, please. And he even finds the leveler, gives that over to Shad, just swapping items. Nice little bit of teamwork. I mean, it's 37 minutes, and Shad still has the Iron Talon. It sort of just shows how great this item is for the farming speed of carries and just the actual utility it ends up providing you. What other sort of ones they got to work with? They actually got the Paladin Sword. But he's still preferring the Iron Talon over the Paladin Sword. That's quite interesting. Looks like smoke up from General. Just maybe trying to see if anyone on the side of Viking was actually going for that Roshan. Not sure if it was actually respawned. But his Remnant, does it get the vision? Can he see that? Oh, he doesn't even get a vision of the fact that Roshan's actually up, but Viking do realise it's there. And they're probably, yeah, they're just going to start heading straight over to this this pit. They're going to bring it down. And I don't think Na'Vi are going to realise this is going on at all. Iceberg forced to use his BKB and TP out. Just a little bit unsure if there was going to be a potential gank coming out from Viking. So General just going to start trying to poke at this tier 3. Be like, okay, there's no one here. They must be at the Roche, but not that it's going to matter. Roche ends up dropping. Ags on the floor. Who are they going to give the Ags to? Okay, they give it over to Aramis. So he's going to have those super amount of charges for the Demonic Purge. Going to really make V-Tune's life miserable now. It's so easy to juke him. Despite the fact that he's going to have that 50% status resistance, you got 3 charges to use. You may as well blow them all on him. But Always Wanna Fly is going to try and set up for the stun onto Boom, but especially with the Ether Remnant doing quite a bit of damage. There's still going to be enough time for Boom to potentially come in to provide a little assistance. There's the defensive disruption coming up from Aramis, giving enough space. Shad jumps into the background, finishes off Always Wanna Fly. The Battle Trance ends up getting popped by V-Tune. He just gets roared in place. He's going to drop this immediately after it ends. And now Iceberg trying to run away, goes with the Sprouts. Not going to make any space for him whatsoever. He ends up dropping. Both the 2 main positions for the side of Na'Vi gone for 80 seconds, no buyback. Oh, Boom. Roger is actually still there. I think he relocated back in. So 4 deaths on the side of Na'Vi. They don't find anything. Tried going for that kill onto Boom one more time, but still ends in failure. But Shad, he's actually going to try and get the grab now onto General with the Abyssal Blade lead up. And that secures the team wipe. Everyone dead on the side of Na'Vi. Even a double damage spawned down bottom, which I imagine Shad's going to be the one to grab. And then they're just going to run straight down this mid lane. No glyph as well for another minute and 20 seconds. It's going to be plenty of time for Viking to do terrible damage onto the base. There is a buyback from General, and both the supports are going to be back relatively soon as well. But even still, both the cores gone for the minimum of 30 seconds. That's how fast these buildings die. That 30 seconds is going to be more than enough time to take away 2 lanes of barracks. Oh no, but then General, he steps way out of position, ends up getting caught. Even the roar there, onto Always Wanna Fly. He drops as well, immediately he buys back. And yeah, Na'Vi just called GG. They realise just how far behind they are. 37,000 gold lead for Viking. Just really crushed Na'Vi this game. I mean, Na'Vi, it wasn't going too badly in the laning phase. It was relatively even for a while. Like, V-Tune was having an amazing time up top. Iceberg was getting active around the map. I think for like the first 10 minutes or so, it was like 8-0 or something in favour of Na'Vi in terms of kills. They were doing really well. But Boom just sort of hit his timing, started roaming around the map, making plenty of space for Shad. And Shad's farm just kept accelerating more and more until he was just this big, beefy bastard that Na'Vi just could not deal with. And yeah, they just carried on applying their pressure when they needed to, finding the perfect engagements. I mean, that was the thing. Na'Vi were in the lead, and they tried going for grabs, but every single time Viking was in the right spot to really capitalise on it and actually ends up turning the gank around and getting a few kills themselves. It was quite a while as well before Vichun really started getting involved with the rest of his team. So maybe once he had that SNY up, he should have probably actually started sticking with him a little bit more. Maybe using that timing. But unfortunately, even his score actually 3-3-3. Despite the fact that how that game went, you would have thought he'd either have more deaths or at least more kills and assists, but only 3s across the board. A little bit, yeah, maybe, like I say, maybe just need to get involved a little bit more perhaps, but who knows. Even still, very well-deserved victory there by Viking, taking this series 2-1, knocking Virtus Pro down to the lower brackets where they're going to have to face up against OG tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. And that will be the game I'm casting, actually, because that's at 7 o'clock. So if you guys are interested, stay tuned. 7 o'clock tomorrow for, yeah, OG versus Na'Vi. But that is Viking moving forwards in the upper brackets. They're actually going to have to go up against Virtus Pro. And that is no easy task. Virtus Pro have been playing really well lately, so it's going to be a little bit of a scary matchup for them. But, you know, if they carry on playing pretty well, they did, you know, as they played in the second and first game. Actually, who won the first game now? I can't even remember. Who won the first game? I can't remember which order it went. No. I just want to look at... Oh, it's there. This is it. Okay, so yeah, it was... Yes, they won the first game and then the third game. But yeah, even so, well played to them. It's a very long-winded outro, this one. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed, then please think about liking, subscribing. If you're watching this on YouTube, any sort of likes I get really helps to sort of bump up my status, and it makes me feel nice and warm inside as well. That's what I really do this for, the warm feelings. But even still, I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, you come round and watch tomorrow's game of OG versus Na'Vi at 7 o'clock. So hopefully I'll see you guys there.